You better have something good for me this time, because no one seemed to like your last idea. Superheroes? What are you, crazy? It's manga or bust. So sorry, sir. I don't know what I was thinking. Luckily, I just came up with a great new idea. Oh? What do you get? The kids are really into this edgy power fantasy nonsense these days, and watching the same premise over and over again, right? I don't know. I'm not a kid. I was told to stay away from them. Yeesh. You have to bring your kid to the beach for one day, and your ex-wife is all like, I'm not your ex-wife, and you're holding up the drive-thru. It nerves some people. Yeah, so this show's got nothing to do with ex-wives? Why didn't you say so sooner? Come on, out with it. Yeah, so in the show, we follow this guy that's like the coolest gamer you've ever seen. As cool as Kirito? Yeah, as cool. Okay, the second coolest gamer you've ever seen. There's also Sora and Shiro, who are pretty good at games. Then there's Yugimoto, who's literally the king of games. Alright. He's just some generic dude that got stuck in a video game as a skeleton. But it's nothing like you've seen before, because this dude's the bad guy. Was something supposed to happen? Thanks, Mr. Editor. So this dude Momonga, right? He's playing this futuristic MMO called Yggdrasil. And this thing is sick. It's played in VR with a slick gold UI that takes up about, I don't know, half the screen, and it's really immersive. That sounds annoying. Only a little. Anywho, the game servers are about to shut down for good, so Momonga invites his highly dedicated guild members to have one final meeting as a send-off in-game before the server shut down for good, and only one of them decides to show up because the main character is actually a bit of a loser. Good. Something our audience can relate to. So since the server is about to shut down for good, he decides to mess around with the NPCs in the castle by like moving them around and changing their programming so they say, I love him, you know, nonsense like that. Sure. Then he takes a seat in his throne and waits for the clock to tick past midnight, bringing a solemn end to the world. Huh. That's actually a pretty nice ending to this world. Or so you thought. In actuality, he doesn't end up getting logged out, he can't contact the game moderators, and now he's stuck in this VR world. Of course, it's an isekai. So all the NPCs start moving around and start asking Momonga why he looks so freaked out. So he does what any sane man would do in this situation. He gets some boba. My man. Yeah. So after he's done with his final roaming and teats, he gets stuck in the tutorial section for a few episodes, which gives him just enough time to introduce us to all the characters that matter. Who do we got this time? Just some generic demon guy in a suit, a weird-looking insect, 2 cross-dressing tan elves, a masochist vampire lolly, and some horned succubus with butt wings. Cool. So, what's the goal of the show? Fan service. Carry on. So Among Us decides he doesn't want to be called Momonga anymore because of how hard it is for the writer to keep typing out his name. So instead decides to name himself after some super important staff he has instead, called the Staff of Einzel Gone. This thing sounds pretty cool. What does it do? Beats me. I like that answer. So after the tutorial finishes, Ainz teleports to some nearby town that's under attack by some generic knights, so our boy decides to test out his mega OP magic on 2 BK randoms and completely blows them away. Nice. Then he heads further into town where he one-shots a few more people with some Death Knight that he summoned and tells the town that they're under his protection from now on. I thought you said this guy was evil. Well, he used necromancy, so, you know, evil? Fair enough. So another group of knights led by Gazif shows up in town to check on the place to make sure the folks are doing okay, and Ainz thinks that he's moderately less crap at doing things than everyone else he's seen, so Ainz decides to give him this thing that does some stuff. What kind of stuff? I don't know, but I better be able to kill all these crazy wizards that just showed up with angels. Whoa! So Gazif runs out of town and starts beating up the people with a sword. He's all like, oh, shing, shong, shong, blah. But Ainz gets jealous of how pog Gazif looks and decides to pull the old Uno reverse card to switch places with the guy and take all the credit for the dub. I guess that's a little evil. Is it at least an interesting fight? If an interesting fight you mean that he makes a black hole and one-shots the entire army, then yes. Yeah, this guy seems a bit too strong. Oh, come on, man. I already spent so much time writing out that first part. Don't make me restart now. That first part does have a pretty good first part feel to it. What if you just do a class swap? Way ahead of you, sir. So Ainz, for no reason at all, decides he wants to be a paladin instead, with some big frickin' sword and super high-tier armor, and wants people to call him something cool and exciting when he's wearing this. Oh yeah? What does he call himself? Momon. Wait a minute. So Momon and Best Girl Nabe decide that they're done having any originality with their story and decide to head into the nearby town to join the local guild. Originality is lame anyway. My thoughts exactly. So when they join the guild, he first tries to convince the quest lady to give them max rank because his dad owns Fortnite, but since his speech isn't 100, she hits him with a lol no, and he instead gets stuck with some nobodies doing some crappy escort mission instead. We do like Fortnite. In this next part, we don't really want to have to draw any new sets, so we're just going to have Momon escort this guy named Inferia back to that previous village so he can get some shrooms and fight some forest guardian thing. I do like the idea of saving money. Speaking of which, I've got other things to do today, and time is money. Can we speed this up a bit? Sorry, sir. Next scene, we've got a Hamtaro reference. Skip. Okay, Then those nobodies get killed, and some necromancer shows up, summons a bunch of skeletons to fight the city. Skip. Okay, then Momo and Nabi pretend to get hurt for an episode and proceed to one-shot some more people. Skipperoo. Well, all I've got left is some part about that lolly vampire girl, but I'm sure you don't want to hear about that. Hold up. Let's not rule out any options here, okay? So what's the deal with her? So this girl Shalltear is out and about doing her business, you know, one-shotting everyone she meets in the countryside. I'm sensing a trend here. Yeah, she gets ambushed in her carriage and kills everyone around her. Then she goes into a bandit cave and kills everyone in there. Then she comes across some badass mercenary named Brain, and you can tell he means business by his intimidating blue hair he's got. That doesn't seem very intimidating. Yeah, Shalltear doesn't think so either, so she just blocks his sword with her pinky and he runs away crying. Oh, does she kill him too? Nah. Okay. Then she runs outside to kill some more people, but suddenly she senses a disturbance in the force and gets trapped under somebody's mind control spell. Ooh. Uh-oh indeed. So we go back to the castle where all the servants are placing bets on whether Ainz can 1v1 Shalltear or not, and pretty much everyone is betting against him, so he decides to respec back into the mage class so that everyone can lose their bets. That's not a very nice thing for him to do. Don't forget, he's evil. Oh, I forgot, yeah, he did all this evil acts before, you know, like saving that town, and saving the city, and saving that Feria. Exactly. So he shows up to the fight right, and Shalltear isn't moving, like, at all. So while she's just being chilling, Ainz starts to cast some super duper powerful spell. I'm talking at least 5 glowing circles and at least 20 seconds of screen time minimum. Ah, and he's gonna one-shot her, eh? Nice tried and true strategy. Why would we ever do that? This show is about nail-biting action where either side can win at any given moment, not some ridiculous power fantasy. It is? It is. Oh. So after he fails to do yet another one-shot, Shalltear gets pretty angry and starts rushing down Ainz. Now this is a bit of a problem because even though Ainz has some powerful spells, Shalltear spec'd all of her points into lifesteal. I mean, we're talking like a full League lifesteal stacking build here. Oh, so he stands 0 chance. Pretty much, but luckily Professor Bones is prepared. You see, he brought his handy-dandy popsicle sticks to this fight. And how's that going to help? Well, if he breaks one of these sticks, he gets to change to whatever class he wants mid-battle and equip all the OP gear from that class as well. I'm talking big maces and axes and swords, all the classics. I'm confused here. So since she can lifesteal all of her health back on hit, shouldn't he, I don't know, not equip a plethora of melee weapons and try to stay away from her? You know what? He's just gonna, not do that. You ever think of that? I guess I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, so he's gonna slash and stab, boom and bop a whole bunch of times until they've used all of their mana, and then he whips out some giant bow and fires off an aimbot arrow that's gonna finish her off once and for all. Nope. What do you mean, nope? Nope. She's not dead. But he just killed her. Then bring her back to life. I don't think we can just do that. But just do it? Oh, okay. So she comes back to life, I guess, and they all go back to the castle to plan out some future escapades, and everyone lived happily ever after. Well, that sounds like a pretty epic show. We got an isekai with an edgy protagonist, a harem of monster women, we touched boba, and we got some cool action. I call this an absolute win. Don't forget about the CG. What do you mean, the CG? You know, the CG we're going to use in every battle to varying levels of quality. Wait, we're doing that? Of course we are. Well, I guess that's fine. There's no way it can be that bad. Right?
Hey everyone, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to Half by Jish if you want to see more content like this in the future. And on that note, have a great day, and I'll see you next time.